Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jake the Fate, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys step by step on how to wind a humbucker pickup. Alright, so here I have this humbucker pickup, and I'm going to take you guys to the workbench and show you guys how I wound this pickup step by step, and then give you guys a quick demo of how this thing sounds, and then give you guys my final thoughts on if it's worth winding your own pickup or actually going out and buying a, Seymour Duncan or whatever. So without further ado, let's go to the workbench. Alright, so I had ordered this from eBay, Fleor, I think that's the name of the brand. But I usually do just use Mojo Tones kits just because they're a little bit more, I would say a little bit better quality. But, if you guys are trying to do this for the first time, I would say something like this would be cool to try for the first time. And it does come with everything that you guys need. So you got the bobbins here and the plate with the magnet in here. Now they do say it's an Alnico 5 magnet, and it does look like it. So it does look like it's gonna actually be an actual Alnico 5, because if you guys have seen a few of my videos and they claim that come with Alnico 5s, this is what it's supposed to look like. That's a plus in my book. So what we're gonna do first is wind this pickup. Now this little winder, I made this thing about, I would say probably like 3 years ago. And there's a lot of videos out there if you guys want to see how to make one. I did say if you guys want me to make a video on how to make a pickup winder, I'll make one, but no one said anything. So this is the one that I made. There's a lot of good guys out there that make really good videos on how to make one. I literally just made this thing from scrap wood that I had laying around. Oh, and then this thing, I basically saw that Mojo Tone had like their own little winder, like holder thing, like to hold the tension, like a tensioner. I think it's what it's called. So it's like freaking $60, and I was like, I could just make that. So I went to Home Depot and I just grabbed a few things that I'm walking around and I'm seeing. I'm like, all right, I can use this, I can use that, and I just made this thing. So and this thing works awesome. What I'm going to be doing is showing you guys how to wind a pickup, comparing if you guys wind your own pickup to a stock pickup like this one. This one came in the Kramer Beretta Special, and then this one is a Seymour Duncan Invader. This one did come out of my Sinister Gates guitar, so it's basically just a regular Invader. They just customized. What I'm going to be doing here is taking the readings of these pickups and showing you guys what I'm going to be winding. All right, so this Invader reads 18.9 k ohms. It's a pretty hot pickup. Awesome pickup. I love that pickup. This pickup reads 15.30 k ohms. So I'm trying to go anywhere between 17 to 16 k ohms. So it's not as high as this one, and it's not as low as this one. I'm trying to keep it right in the center. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys how I wind my pickups. So the wire that I use this one right here. I use two different kinds, but they're both basically the same. This one's just a different brand. This one's from Remington. I really love this brand. This one's a new one that I started trying about probably a year ago, and it works pretty decent. The gauge I use is 43 for these kind of pickups, like the really hot ones, so I can actually get more winds into them. And I'll leave everything that I'm using in the description down below. So if you guys want to go out and actually try this, you guys can actually find it pretty quick. So if you guys see this right here on I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera, but on this side of the bobbin, it's like a little bit like the plastic is like sticking out a little bit. This side is a little bit smoother. You guys might want to sand that down with like some sandpaper or something. Or you guys can get a little file and just file it down, because it really doesn't take that much. And that is so when you guys are winding this thing, it doesn't, literally just like rip the wire, and I've had that happen so many times, and it's freaking annoying. And that's the one thing about this, guys. You guys need to be real patient with this stuff because if you guys are winding and you guys got like 4,000 turns and boom, it just snaps, it's gonna suck. But you know, just take your time with it. Try to find the right tension. If you guys are doing this by hand, then yeah, sure, it's a little bit easier or better. But when it comes with like something like this, you guys are using like an actual like mojo tone one, and you guys are not finding the right tension, it like, because too much tension can snap it. And if you guys are like just like holding it without even noticing, and it's just like a ball of freaking wire, it's gonna sound bad. So this kind of work, it does take a lot of time and a lot of like trial and error. So just be patient with this kind of stuff. So we got a few turns on this thing, and I'm going to be going for around 7,000 turns per bobbin. This one just a little bit more. So yeah, let's get turning. All right, so after you guys at least have 1,000 turns, stop and check if you guys are not like, there's like no wires, you know, overlapping. Not overlapping, but because this is considered scatter wounding for us nerds out there. But just make sure that it doesn't like overlap, like doesn't fall off the bobbin or doesn't get stuck anywhere between, you know, over here, because that used to happen to me so much. Always double check at least after 500 turns, stop, look, and then keep going. All right, so right now I have around a little bit under 1,000 turns left. So what you guys want to look at is making sure that everything looks pretty even. Because right now I'm looking at this side is a little bit more full than this side. So I'm going to have to fill this side a little bit more and try to fill out the center. Of course, we're doing this by hand, so nothing's going to be perfect. So you're going to want to wind it at least as decent as possible, because you are going to see some imperfections. As long as you're getting them sort of like in the pocket, it's going to come out good. So here I have 7,047 turns. So that's going to be good for this bobbin, at least for this one. And the technique that I'm using, guys, is not anything insane. I'm just gliding across the bobbin and then coming right back. And then sometimes I'll just go a little bit quicker than the other ones because I'm trying to get some scatter windings in there. But I'm just gliding it. It's nothing super technical. Fuck. And just like that, I snagged it. And it fucking ripped. So I need to start this one over again because it was being a little prick. We have to start this thing all over again. All right, so for the south bobbin, we got 7,351 turns. So we got at least 300 more turns than this north coil. So that's good for me. All right, so with this kit, they don't give you pigtails. So I had to make my own. Luckily, I already had a few black and white wires laying around. But what I want to say is that your north coil, if this is your first time trying this, you want to go counterclockwise, and with your south coil, go clockwise, because I've done this so much that I already know that I have to do my start to finish to start. So if you guys can see right here, my two finishes are going to be like kind of touching themselves. If I'm making any sense here, hopefully I am. There's so many good guys out there that can teach you guys properly. Like I love pickup winding and I love doing all this stuff, but to explain it for me to do it, it's a little bit, I can't explain things because I'm always doing things. I'm working. I'm doing other things, but there's a lot of guys that just prioritize themselves to pickups. So when it comes to this, there's a guy named Dylan Talks Tones, and that dude literally just gave me that code breaker where I was like start, finish, finish, start, and that's all I needed. So even if I wind them both clockwise or do them both counterclockwise, I already know that I need to do my start, my finish, and my start. So like how I did with this one, I kind of like went backwards. This would have been a good neck pickup, but like how I said, I'm gonna do my blacks as my start and the whites as my finish. So I'm gonna put the black one on this wire right here and solder that into place. If I can do it, this fucking wire. It's always good to go out and invest in little things like this, because if you guys are trying to do this with your bare hands, it's gonna suck. I'm gonna grab my finish and put it on this white wire right here. A couple turns. Just be very careful with this stuff, guys, because this can be very annoying, but the end result is cool. Okay, some of this tape here, and just tape it down because you don't want these things flying around. Okay, now I'm gonna do my south coil. Perfect. And you go right there, little guy. Oh my god, am I on camera? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to do this and also trying to make this thing as good as possible. So as you guys can see, this is my start. My black is my start. The white is my finish, and my start right there again with the black. So what I like to do is just double check and make sure that I'm getting a reading on this coil and on this coil. We have 7.74 on this coil. Perfect. And on this coil we have perfect 8.11. Just what I was looking for. So now if I put my two finishes together, I'm going to get a higher, beautiful reading. We're going to get 15.86. So that's a perfect reading that I wanted to get. So, oh, and let's check the Henrys just to make sure. .46. So the Henrys just determined the bass or treble frequencies. So this invader reads, whoa, 9.40. Yeah, and you know what's funny is that I've always noticed that these invaders, they're very bassy. So that is a accurate reading. This one, the Kramer Beretta Special, reads 6.62. So mine is gonna be around, and I don't have the magnet in there, so it's gonna be a little bit trebly. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty trebly. And I've always had the issue where like my pickups sound very bassy, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm hoping that the Alnico 5 magnet that came with this thing balances it out. If I was gonna do this with a ceramic magnet, that would have been perfect, because I would have balanced it out perfectly. But with the Alnico 5, I don't know how it's gonna sound. It's gonna be interesting because this whole thing was just experiment for myself also, so we're gonna find out. All right, so from here what you want to do is just tape the whole coil so it doesn't, none of these wires come out. All right, so I want to apologize because I thought I was recording, but all I really did was just tape this thing up, put in the slugs and the screws on my north and south coil, and we're basically just gonna assemble this thing. So like how I said, I'm just gonna use the Seymour Duncan wiring and have those as my coil splits. So I'm gonna use my red and my white wire to coil split these. So I'm just gonna put these into place. And the magnet, this is very important, guys, because if you guys buy this kit, you guys are going to see this little blue line right here. And if you guys get a little bit confused, just grab another pickup and put it on top. And you guys are going to see that it stays on the north side where that magnet is. Because if you guys put it opposite, it's going to like jump somewhere else. So if you guys put it like this, it's going to go right to where the north is. So that's how I know that's my north coil. And from here, I grab my little, you guys are going to want to put this right there. And I don't think these are brass, but they give you these like brass looking screws. But just put them in place. All right, so like how I said, my two whites are going to be my coil splitting, which are my finish. And I'm going to do that with the, I'm going to do the Seymour Duncan wiring, which is going to be my white and my red. So I'm going to put those together. We're going to solder that into place. What you want to do now is grab some heat shrink tubing and just put these away. Or you guys, if you guys don't have that, just electrical tape works wonders. All right, so I just realized that I was saying my north is my down. I was saying that my north is down. I'm not really good with school stuff, guys. I leave that all to Nicole. But my north, obviously, your north is up, south is down. So I know I was saying my north, like, you know, facing it down, but your north is always going to be up. If you guys already know that. So what I'm going to do here is grab this green wire and put this with my north coil up here, which is my slug side, and then grab this black wire and I'm going to put that together. And then the bare wire, I'm just going to solder that straight onto the base plate right there. All right, so after that, just drop this into some paraffin wax just so we can get rid of all the microphonic noise. So that is why people drop their pickups into some wax, so we don't get no feedback or any unwanted sounds. All right, so there it is, how I wind my own pickups. Now, is it worth winding your own pickups or going out and buying, a Seymour Duncan or EMGs or whatever you guys want to buy, or just keeping the stock pickups that come with the guitar? This guitar is a Kramer Beretta Special, which I basically just, give it a little relic look. When I first felt it, I thought it was like, wow, this guitar is a lot heavier than the other two Kramer Beretta Specials that I have. And then I realized that this guitar is made out of mahogany. So I was like, man, this guitar would look so sick if it just had a cool little relic job. And, oops. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I came up with. Nothing crazy or anything. So I don't have to worry about banging this guitar around anymore. But, it's an affordable guitar. It's an awesome guitar. Like I've said, I love these Kramer Beretta Specials, man. They're just so awesome, especially to modify. Not just paint job, as you guys can see. You guys can do a cool little relic look. I put Nicole's face on the on that pink one. I painted the EVH 5150 on another one. And these guitars are just awesome, great guitars. But of course, this video is not about this guitar. It's about the pickup. Is it worth it making your own, or going out and buying a pickup from a guitar store or online? I'm the type of person that loves trying new things. And I just started winding pickups about probably 3 to 4 years ago. It was like during the pandemic is when I started to really try and see what a pickup is. So it's fairly new to me, and I'm still, working on it, and I'm still trying to figure out, what works here and there. It's something that, like, I like to view it this way, right? You can master the guitar. You can play guitar chords. You learn your chords. You learn your scales. You learn your modes and all that stuff. And then, you go into like learning songs, then you go into writing songs, and then, it's a whole different thing, right? You're learning, and it's a never ending thing. Same thing with the electronics, like I remember when I first started getting into it, it was like a whole new rabbit hole where I was like, I want to know how that sound comes out from this guitar, right? So I started to figure out how the electronics worked. And I'm like, okay, so this picks it up and it goes through this, and it comes out, goes into the amp. I've even went into making my own pedals, making my own amps, but that's just way, 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 way too much. Like I've dabbled into it, but it's just like, it's a little too high tech for me, because I'm like, okay, I'd rather stick to something simple that I can just do real quick, or, it's a lot easier to learn. But even though winding your own pickups is a little bit complex, if you practice and practice and practice, it's gonna come to you, because I remember when I first started winding my own pickups, man, I used to cry to Nicole. I'd be like, oh my god, I bought the spool, and I've wasted an entire spool on trying to make one pickup, because it would just either snap, or I would wind it and the tension wasn't right, so it was just like too spongy, and like it was just sticking out everywhere, and it was just a mess. And I'm like, oh man. So it did take time. It does take time. If you guys are patient, I would honestly say get into it, because like I said, the end result is pretty cool. Like, you'll be surprised, and it makes you a little bit more knowledgeable when you guys go out and try to buy your own pickups. Knowing what magnet does what, knowing how many turns are per bobbin, or like, buying a pickup and then, using the multimeter to read the amount of resistance or the Henrys or anything like that. Like, you get to really understand it, and like, okay, this pickup sounds like this. I'm going to try to wind the pickup, down the road, like how this JB is, or how it's obviously not going to come out like it, because, they wind it on a machine, which is, everything's like precise. Everything's one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. When it comes to a hand wound pickup, those are just going to be scattered everywhere. And a lot of people do prefer hand wound pickups. I've wound a few pickups for a few guys that are in bands, and they've used them and they like love it. And I'm not trying to praise or anything, but it makes you feel good, that you're winding a pickup, and like you get to see that and you're like, wow, like I did that. Like when I, just like this one, like I'm like, wow, I did this one. And you're proud of it, just because it's like, let's say you guys do an actual build, like you guys are building a guitar, like you guys buy the kit or something, you guys are painting and you guys do this, and you guys are like, I'm gonna wind my own pickup for it too. So You know, that's something that I still haven't done. Like I've done like a full build and wound my own pickup, which I've been saying I've been wanting to do for about a year now. I've just been so busy, but that's gonna be another project. But yeah, man, like highly recommend you guys winding your own pickups because it's just something that like like I said, it's a whole new rabbit hole that you just get sucked into. As a guitar player, we just constantly want to know new things, how this works, how that works, and especially when it comes to pickups. I know a lot of guys say, "Oh, pickups they all sound the same," but I'm telling you guys, if you guys get into it and you guys start winding your own pickups, you guys, there's a lot of awesome videos on YouTube that I've watched, especially from Seymour Duncan. You know, he has like a whole like 101 on pickups, and you know, learning that and like watching him do that, it just inspires you. Like even Rob Turner from EMG, he's got some cool videos out there, and you know, you just get so into it that it makes you want to try it for yourself. You know, like you watch uh interviews from Slash, interviews from James Hetfield, all like everybody that you're just like, wow, like they want to go for this specific sound, they want to do this and they want to do that, and I just get so sucked into it. Like when I watch interviews from Eddie Van Halen, I watch all these interviews and I'm like, man, like you know, it's just so awesome. So highly recommend you guys doing this, man. So if you guys are interested, maybe for the next video I can do a comparison with, you know, if you wound your own pickup versus a Seymour Duncan or versus a stock pickup. I don't know. If you guys are interested, I could probably do a video on that. With that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys find it useful and helpful in any way, shape, or form. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because this is all I do on this channel. Guitar reviews, guitar builds, wiring stuff, anything guitar related. That's all I do on this channel. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.